Hurricane Priscilla is on a teetering edge of reaching major hurricane status. Right now, currently a high-end Category 2 hurricane moving off towards the northwest. Gradually, over the next few days, it will recurve into the Baja California Peninsula as a much weakening storm. So right now, the storm has winds right now of 110 miles per hour, pressure down at 959 millibars. As I said, moving off towards the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour, 17 kilometers per hour, and we are mid to high code blue on T-Coast for the storm right now, but it is a very low threat to land over the next few days. So here's where the storm is located right now. Currently located at 19.8 degrees north, 110.6 degrees west, per the intermediate advisory from the National Hurricane Center. 270 miles away from Cabo San Lucas, 356 from San Carlos, 511 from Punta Abrejos, 606 from Bahia Tortugas, and 690 from Blanco. All those in kilometers, 349, 573, 822, 975, and 1,110 respectively. This storm poses a significant risk of rainfall and flash flooding over the next few days, and that's really it as far as the biggest threat from Priscilla goes. Very large wind field has to be set for most Asia Pacific hurricanes. It's a very large storm, and the influence does extend very much out of the center of circulation right now. Tropical storm watch is in effect for the coastline of Mexico, the Baja California Peninsula, from Cabo San Lucas northward to Cabo San Lazaro on the southwestern coast of the Baja California Peninsula. I imagine those watches with time will be extended off towards the north, as Priscilla is forecast to gradually turn itself off towards a more northerly direction and then back northeast toward the later part of next week, into the weekend into next week, as the storm makes landfall. So the primary threat that we're seeing right now is going to be gusty winds. Of course, as I said, the tropical storm force winds sustain up to 140, 150 miles away from the center of the storm right now. But of course, those tropical storm force gusts will extend out a little bit farther. I don't really think that those tropical storm force wind gusts are really going to be too much of an impact. You know, we might see some wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, but I don't really think we're going to be seeing anything beyond that. The rainfall threat, though, it's there. We've had way worse than this, though, for Mexico. For the Baja California Peninsula, we're expecting to see about maybe 2 to 4 inches of rainfall in those regions, with the isolated higher gusts into the southwestern U.S. with the moisture of the storm right now. The storm is running out of time to become a major hurricane. It's on borrowed time at this point. Before terminal weakening begins, this forecast here does show Priscilla making landfall here, or making it right here as a tropical storm. It could do that, or it could be a remnant low as it does so. We'll have to wait and see, though, but weakening very rapidly as it gets off towards the northwest here in the cooler waters and increasing much of wind shear. It's got moderate wind shear even right now, so for the intensity that storm is at right now, it's doing pretty good given the wind shear conditions that's in right now. So the latest the NHC forecast cone reflects ours forecast. You can see the moisture from this storm. You can guess upon this cone here, the moisture will be dragged up into the southwestern U.S., mainly Arizona, which there is going to be a flooding risk in Arizona earlier on next week, into the middle part of next week, so stay tuned for that if you're in Arizona, maybe even southeastern California too. So here's what the estimates are saying right now. SATCON and most of our estimates solidly supporting a mid to high Category 2. There is some chance of slight strengthening in the short term, but time is running out for the storm to reach major hurricane status. ADT up almost at Category 4, and I mean, AMSU, come on now. I don't even need to comment on that. So here's what we're seeing on the GFS side of things. Weakening below hurricane status very quickly, and there you can see it capitulating as it moves inland. And you can see just there off towards the south of the storm, that's Tropical Storm Octave. That will gradually be absorbed into Priscilla. That will be going around the southern flank of the storm and will eventually get wrapped up in the banding of the storm, and Octave will dissipate. Then you can also see a high chance Invest 90E behind that developing, becoming a pretty large tropical storm too behind Priscilla. So maybe some chance of another storm moving into these same regions towards maybe 5, 6, 7 days or now. We'll have to wait and see, though. Something to watch. Regarding the reflectivity side of things, you can see there's the storm weakening very rapidly under those increasing amounts of wind shear conditions and those cooler waters. The rainfall threat with the convective activity weakening will drop off dramatically. You'll see here in just a second how much the rainfall threat drop off dramatically. Not really going to be seeing too much in terms of winds and rain over the next few days, especially for those inland areas. You know, they get this kind of stuff all the time. I really don't think we're going to be seeing really anything too drastic or too major. You know, that's really going to be really notable around Priscilla. So thankfully, just another average Eastern Pacific tropical cyclone for many of these regions. So here you can see those darker colors here as Priscilla weakens right there. Those darker colors drop off dramatically right as it moves into the Baja California Peninsula here. We could be seeing rainfall totals up in where Priscilla is right now. We could be seeing some rainfall totals in the double digits, you know, up maybe 10, 12, maybe even a little bit more in terms of the rainfall potential over the next few days where Priscilla is right now. But for those inland areas, it is going to be a little bit of a higher rainfall threat over the next few days. Maybe up to 2 to 4 inches here over the next few days. And as I alluded to earlier, that moisture from Priscilla will spread up into the portions of the southwestern U.S. Think Arizona and southeastern California. Maybe a few inches up there into next week. We'll have to wait and see on that though. So the track forecast based on the models here is pretty set in stone. We're going to be seeing a gradual recurvature into the coastline of Mexico. So recurve season here in the Eastern Pacific is starting off with Priscilla. Something going to be very close, something to watch over the next few days, as most of the warmer waters in the Eastern Pacific are right along the coastline of Mexico. So if we have a storm in prime conditions, especially in this time of the month, it could mean very troublesome news for Mexico. We'll have to wait and see on that though. I'm just stating that the waters support it. But regarding Priscilla, very, very warm waters where it is right now, but they drop off the cliff further off towards the north. So there you can see those warmer waters, especially right where, remember back in 2022, I think it was 2022, 2021 maybe, when Hurricane Roslyn moved through these areas. Very warm waters over there, but where Priscilla is right now, it's got warm waters. Of course, it's being limited by some wind shear values right now, but as the storm goes off towards the north, waters will cool gradually. Think past day 2, day 3, water temperatures will drop off a cliff, and towards day 3, day 4, those water temperatures will cool even more, and that will ultimately what will kill the storm. In addition to those wind shear values that are only going to increase as the storm goes off towards the north. Surface observation plots aren't really going to be telling us very much. There's actually no stations here. I'm not even seeing at all. So nothing really too substantial on the plot here that we're seeing in terms of surface observations. I imagine that we're probably seeing some tropical storm force gusts in Cabo San Lucas. We did see some tropical storm force gusts back off towards the east of the storm where it is right now. On the mainland coast of Mexico, there was a tropical storm watch previously posted for those areas, now lifted of course. The track forecast, once again, very similar story. Curve off towards the northeast into the Baja California Peninsula. What's left of Priscilla will make it up into Arizona and will ultimately bring moisture up there too, promoting a rainfall threat up there. You know, this is going to be something substantial. You know, we're not really going to be seeing in the double digits like we've seen with some Eastern Pacific hurricanes up here in the southwestern U.S. Not going to be seeing that at all. The intensity forecast, there is some room for the storm to strengthen in the very, very short term, but it's running out of time. I do think that there's maybe a 6-hour gap for the storm to reach major hurricane status. We'll have to wait and see, though. It's on borrowed time at this point. Those wind shear values are hit or miss right now. It's got a pocket of lower wind shear that's in right now, so it's doing its best to try and intensify in these wind shear values. It's done fairly good for the most part. Ever since the storm formed, it's been a very big system, and it's been dealing with 20-25 knots of wind shear. It's doing pretty good, has to be said, though. Both those water temperatures and relative humidity values do cool off pretty soon. So will Priscilla make it to hurricane status, or major hurricane status, I should say? We'll have to wait and see, though. Stay tuned. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see what the NHC goes with at their upcoming advisory, though 110 miles per hour right now. So here's the satellite imagery that we're seeing right now. You can see the storm is still getting organized gradually. It's got those cloud tops cooling on the northern side. There was a little bit of a gap on the western side of the eye wall that has since closed off. So maybe this is the harbinger, or maybe this is this prelude strengthening, or some short-term strengthening, which will bring it up to major hurricane status. Maybe that does, maybe it doesn't. We'll have to wait and see, though. But very large storm, though. You can see the influence is very, very large. Already putting some influence on octave, which you won't be able to see on the imagery side of things here. But already producing some wind shear values over octave as the storm breathes. It produces outflow, and that tends to shear off anything in the vicinity of it, which is octave in this case. There is some drier level concerns in the area, mainly off towards the northwest of the storm right now. but maybe even over the northeastern side of the storm right now. But where the storm is right now, it's got a pretty good moisture bubble that it's in right now. It's doing fairly good on the satellite imagery side of things. Overall, for a October Eastern Pacific hurricane, this is about average. You know, it is a threat to the Cabo San Lucas area and portions of the Baja California Peninsula and the southwestern U.S. In addition to that, over the next few days, heavy rainfall, strong winds, maybe up to mid-tropical storm force over the next few days possible in those inland areas. We'll have to wait and see what Priscilla does. It's got some time to reach major hurricane status. Will it? We'll have to wait and see.